now mow, things do now grow, tangents now soar.
And let's fucking go. Hello and good evening, ladies and gents, and good morning as well to some of our people here, depending on where you are in the world. It is Monday. It is December the 8th. In my country, it is the National Students celebration. So we have a lot of drunk people in college that are basically frying their brains for their future jobs at McDonald's. But we're here. We're going to be discussing a lot of good topics because we want to be positive. We want to give you a good start of the week. So that's why we're going to be mainly talking about the end of everything as we know it. It's a good topic. It is well. It's a very uplifting thing that we like to do on this show. We're still here. It is the 15th episodes, and I am Helzo. This is DiscussThing's Tangent Kings. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our absolutely legendary comment section. Our people who are watching us every time that we're here. We have 10 people here. We have the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, the Finch King, Marks Master, Arinia, Xori, Jevis. I have to say this again. I hate the ad infestation. I wish it burns in the deep depths of hell that it deserves to be. But moving on, Saint Hugo is also here. Hello, Saint Hugo. Yasto the mod is here. Dezembro, master of this podcast, is also here and drinking on screen. That's good to know. Slayer game is also here, and we are also here. Serpentine DNT just showed hello to everyone. I'm happy to have you here. I'm happy to be doing this show with you. I'm happy for our amazing panel, which will now introduce, starting with the co-host of Tangent Kings, Digby DCG. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing very well, folks. Just to let everyone know, especially for the new viewers, I'm the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. I am the host and founder of the network, which you can find on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays on Discuss Things, Cancel This Podcast, Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, 40K Empress, also known as the Gamer Empress, Dash Attack, Stark of Iron, and Ravencast's channels. Yes, the network has a show a day, and it's driving me insane. In fact, we have 2 shows on Thursday, which is wonderful. It's simply amazing. But it is great to be here, folks. I hope you all enjoy today's show. We've got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of crazy things going on, and I appreciate everyone's support in making this network possible, in resurrecting something that was, for a time, without a rival. So, take it away. Anyone, take it away.
Absolute silence because we're all sad. But Jace, since you're the third person here with a face, because we do have faces here, go ahead, and then we'll go to our very, very special guest. How have you been?
I'm Jace. I'm with Cancel This Podcast, which you can find exclusively on Rumble, mainly because of the fact that the Clankers seem to have taken over YouTube, so I think I'm safer over there dealing with getting yelled at by cultists and CEOs and all that nonsense. We come to you on Thursday nights, 11:15 p.m. and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also do a lot of game streaming over there. Currently exhausted because I've been putting in about 10-12 hours a stream on Octopath Traveler 0 since it dropped the other day. So I've been enjoying that for the past couple days. And really hating my day jobs and really hating Christmas traffic. The old people that only come out for Christmas, that get in front of you and then drive 10 miles an hour. And just the fact that every store, look, I want to go buy a gallon of milk. I got to wait in an hour-long line now. Bah humbug. That's all I got to say.
Now, that's the holiday spirit. Well, yeah, those are things that are inevitable. By the way, here in our country is the same thing. We have lots, like, the traffic is absolutely abhorrent. My street that is basically wide enough for a car and a half, and it's basically behind a building, sort of a parking street that leads you to a boulevard, is basically a highway now. We have construction everywhere, and we have a lot of people just deciding that during a workday they're going to exchange their currency into euro, because we're adopting the euro from January 1st. We're removing our currency, and it's an absolute anarchy. People with savings from 30 years ago are suddenly out of their caves and just going with the bags. It's horrible. It's horrible. I saw a guy with a construction grade bag for bricks full of coins in front of one of the bank offices, and he was like standing in like a 0 Celsius degrees windy day for 5 hours until he could go. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's just like old times waiting in a Soviet bread line. But I think I think Bulgaria's biggest mistake is abandoning their currency for the euro, because that means they will never get out of that union. But what about Des? Speaking of someone who is also Euro trash, I sounded like racist when I said that. But how have you been, Des?
Oh, my mic was muted.
Not that thin-skinned. Go ahead.
Well, I've been doing well. Been the usual, playing some games here and there, and somehow just, as my name says, being late to every video that I make. It is what it is, sadly. I don't tend to have to deal with Christmas traffic, but I don't know, man. Sometimes I just plan a video for a day, and then it ends up releasing 3 days later. With that said, either way, tune into my channel if you want to hear about topics after too long has passed already. Got some lengthy videos discussing various games and games industry topics with some humor, some deep dives, and some music. Oh, and follow me on X if you want to find out why I'm always late to making videos.
Well, traffic in Portugal is always busy, folks. But you can also check out Dez's OnlyFans, where he pleasures his boyfriend Boogie.
Yeah, sure.
Only $5.99, folks.
That's the other Des.
Like who would honestly confuse you with Boogie 2988's I don't know, abuse victim girlfriend? I mean, really?
I just want to make sure, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure. Boy. Because there's a lot of people confusing a lot of stuff online.
Oh my! Well, folks, the thumbnail that I made of today's show, you may have found it interesting to notice that Des had a body, and I just took Hypno's old body, and instead of making it red, I made it cyan green, which is as close to whatever that shade of green or blue that background avatar is. And then I basically used Hypno's old avatar as a skin suit for Des. So I do apologize, but I needed a body for Dez's face, which is a triangle.
That
isn't this the plot of Child's Play movies?
I have no idea what that is. But all you need, Des, is a little line in the middle of that in the middle of that triangle. And you're literally that Harry Potter thing with the circle, the triangle, and the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
Yes, that. Yeah. But I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic show, folks. We appreciate everyone's support. And fingers crossed you'll all enjoy. Like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. And, folks, you can because I haven't shilled myself appropriately, you can check me out over at the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. No one else has that name. All one word, at Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. Hopefully the links are in the description down below.
Yep, they're being posted. By the way, having a unique name with millions and millions of channels is an achievement.
Oh yeah. It's certainly a lot better than Dash's name. His @ is Razinga 9000 Triple T. It's like what is that? What is that?
Yeah, every Thursday when I try to tell people to go to his channel, I have to remember that it's just him. It's like he made his password his username.
Imagine.
We love Dash, but we also love teasing him, right? We want
Yes.
Dash to be more confident about his sexuality, folks, because he comes from a background that isn't nice to those people. But I've been encouraging him to embrace who he is, and I really recommend to everyone on the panel, everyone in the chat, and all the lurkers beating off to us to embrace who you are, because the only reason you are lurking is because you're having a lamb shank while watching this show, which is Cockney for wank. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, before I derail the show with puns and controversy, let's talk about today's first topic, which I'll just write down for, is it 14 minutes? My eyesight is terrible.
Yes.
14 minutes. Is that water or vodka, Elza?
Yes.
You're drinking out of a wine glass.
In Bulgarian, the difference between water and vodka is just one letter. So
In Bulgaria, vodka drink you. But the first topic, folks, is Gothic Therapy. Great channel. Exposes AAA Armageddon with insider information. Now, it was Helzo who recommended this topic to me. I'm just going to lay down what I think before we really get into it. I'm not really a fan of creators being journalists, but if you want to do it, you better do it well. And there's no group that does it better than the husband and wife dynamic duo that is Gothic Therapy. Total and Raven are wonderful people, very capable people. And they're also Jewish people too, which is like the icing on the proverbial cake. So, Helzo, why don't you explain this topic and then we can get perspectives.
well, the interesting thing is that this is not a new thing. We on this show we have been talking about the eventual downfall of AAA, be it because we saw what indie games could do, especially in 2025. We saw what AAA can no longer do, and that is make a decent game. But this is something else. This is another reason that is completely out of the AAA studios' reach to even attempt to fix. This is because it's on a kind of a government level. Now, Gothic Therapy, they on their channel. The video is on their channel, but I'm going to be going to this article. Which is from Writing Raven, by the way. And it's on the DEI Detected website. And what it says, investors with billions in gaming capital brace for the end of the AAA gaming industry. Why is that very worrying? Because we're talking about investors. What are investors? We have talked about they're not exactly human, first of all. They operate on money, and they know where to put their money. And when you have billions in gaming, when you have billions invested in different gaming companies, studios, developers, you kind of get the front row seat of what's happening exactly. You have amazing access, you have a lot of news, you have a lot of people that are giving you the news, so you know where to invest your money. And when you have invested billions, like 1 billion is more money than I think either of us is going to make in their lifetime. And we're talking plural here. So they're saying that they're bracing for the end of the AAA gaming industry. And on their video, they said that this is insider information who was from a guy from a video game who allegedly sat down in a closed doors meeting with investors and people in the industry that we're discussing these things. Now, the thing is that this is not because they're in debt, like from bad projects or something like that. They're not failing financially as per se. It's not because of that. It is because of the new and more enhanced biometric data scans that are going to be taking place in 2026, which means more control over what is considered biometric data. And this is very keen to the US because you have a lot of different regulations in the different states. In the EU, you have the GDPR, and this is not going to be so easily to fly. However, we know that the main market for gaming is the US in almost every game category, apart from, like, let's say, the Asian market and stuff like that. And now we have I'm just going to start reading the article, and I would like to hear your opinions as well. The gaming industry has looked unstable for years, but investors' material revealed by Gothic Therapy point to 2026 as the real fracture point. A private session involving major gaming sector investors, people who collectively manage billions in gaming capital, outlined a blunt expectation. The current AAA model may not survive the next 2 years. The information discussed in the investor meeting wasn't under NDA, and it was all publicly available, which is basically good because we can talk about it. If difficult to find. And it explains why publishers have spent the past year cutting projects, laying off staff, and researching ahead of schedule. We have seen this. We have seen canceled project. We have seen delayed project. We have seen thousands upon thousands of people from big games and from studios being laid off. We have seen studios closing just right after a failed game. We have seen that. There is no, like, they don't have any leeway. They don't have anything any more trusted. They're just like, okay, you failed, bye. And one of the things that they say is that COPPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule 2026 expansion, hits AAA where it hurts. Now, the expansion is what is considered immediate biometric data. So you have the personal information that you almost every time give either to a game or to a website, like email address, names, date of birth, some sort of address and stuff like that. However, you don't give something like your movement, let's say, what or something else, or voice, or some stuff that is not really important for most companies up until this point to collect. And now, according to Gothic Therapy, the law's new scope covers biometric data, including facial scans, eye tracking, and voice analysis, behavioral data, movement and interaction data during gameplay. So basically, everything that you do during a game stream, be it scratch your beard, rub your balls, or something like that, if it's seen, they're going to be considered biometric data. And what is biometric data used for? Advertisement. So this is for advertisers. However, it is also used to, it's also a subject of heavy fines. And this is what I'm going to read next. Several states now regulate biometric data, and in some jurisdictions, each scan counts as a separate violation. Additionally, each violation can result in between $1,000 and $5,000 in fine. And as an example, and this is VR, the average VR system conducts 60 scans per second, which, and they did the math, thank you for that, 216,000 scans per hour, which each of them is a separate potentially a separate violation between $1,000 and $5,000, which can be up to $1.08 billion in legal fines in 1 hour.
No. Slow down there, Helzo. What was it? 60 what per second?
60 scans.
Oh, that's going to be, it's not going to be 60 frames per second anymore, folks. It's going to be, we measure you at 60 scans per second. Yeah.
You know, does a video game really need to know my dick size? Is that necessary?
Okay, people.
How else are you going to get the Blue Chew ad on your screen?
all of you penis lovers out there who really love FPS like it's God or something. Okay. I can't wait for you to experience 60 scans per second, and I can't wait for the biometric data that Tencent, let's just use them as an example, use, and they just bombard Cult Classic Cage with men's clothing products because, let's face it, she dresses up like a man.
I can't wait for the 50-foot tall Michael Rooker when you're fighting him in Call of Duty to, if you die, he drains your bank account. We've scanned your bank account. We've emptied it because you lost. Get good.
Exactly.
Well,
go ahead.
Whoops. That was my cat. Why
Go
are you
away,
trying to
cat.
break my cat? No, like my
Go
cat
away.
is licking itself on my desk, and the foot is going towards my cat.
Also, in the future, your cat's butthole will get 60 scans per second while you play video games.
Yes, cat
See, look.
butt plugs, everyone. Buy them now in bulk.
No,
No,
don't do
you
that.
also, and I'm just gonna zoom a little bit. Investors are also preparing for the results of more than 100 active legal cases focused on addictive design, behavioral manipulation, and monetization loops, which is basically targeted to all those things that are going to happen, the aggressive advertising that's going to come from all that collected biometric data, which is predatory behavior, and they're going to have to adjust. And this is probably the part where I really agree with what Gothic Therapy said in their video, is that this is actually potentially a good thing in the long run, because that will force studios to be more careful with the type of advertisement they're doing, how they're promoting their product, and what they put in their game. Basically, it's going to kind of force them to put gaming in their games and not DEI, woke-tard cultist propaganda, because nobody will want that, and it's going to be considered predatory behavior, especially the teens, the underage people, because this is targeted for the current most active demographic, which is young adults and teenagers.
Who pioneered this technology, Elzo? What possible people, what possible nation could possibly pioneer 60 scans per second of people playing games for biometric purposes?
Well, like scanning for biometric purposes and behavioral data is something that allegedly is much beyond gaming. It's basically just watching what you do and having every move and every behavioral pattern that you exhibit recorded, so they know exactly what you're doing and what you're potentially going to do. There was a movie about that at a certain point, but there were like 3 people in a pool that were doing the scans.
Well, Elzo, I'm very glad my statement went over your head. But I'd like to get Dez's perspective on what he's seen and heard so far.
I just think that both of these things just, they piss me the fuck off, both of them. First, it's like all the biometric nonsense. Like, seriously, what the fuck is this for? In the most good faith way possible, the answer would be like, we need this to analyze player behaviors and make better games. But if you need that to know how to make a goddamn good video game, just quit. Just fuck off, quit, go work at a fucking yogurt shop. We didn't need this. We don't need this now either.
Go work in a yogurt shop.
Des, we require your urine to play this video game.
Whatever.
Why? Reasons. He in this little cup, and we'll tell you if you can play our game.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't, and then this second thing here. Well, I like this one very much because, we've been warning them that, EA already got into trouble because of this, the whole gambling thing back in 2017, and I would just love to see all of this come crashing down. But I don't know if we should get into this right now or if you want to go further into the article first. But it obviously carries a lot of future problems because of the reaction and the response that these companies are going to have. They're obviously not going to have the correct one.
It does. And exactly what they're saying, what God Writing Ravens has said, this why AAA studios cannot just in time. And when we're talking about AAA studios, they're like a huge juggernaut. They're not so easy to maneuver when something like this happens. And keep in mind, most of the projects that are currently in pre-development, that are just on the table, have been thought out and funded, at least partially, at least a couple of years ago when this didn't exist.
Mhm.
So the money is already being put there as a gamble, and that gamble is not going to pay off on that sense. Not to mention if the game is going to be good. They're going to have to change massive stuff. Like a lot of projects are going to have to be either completely changed or scrapped, which is more money in the wind. And AAA already has financial problems that are deepening with every bad game that they're putting out. And with this, because they have kind of built around themselves on the idea that the money flow is never going to stop. There's always going to be players that are buying their slow. That's how gaming used to operate, but gaming also used to give us consistently good games. Then they started giving us bad games, but for a time people were still very hopeful. They were still getting, okay, the next one is going to be good. I know this studio, I know this Assassin's game, and the next one is going to be good. I still have faith in them. And when you have 5-6 games that are consistently bad from a studio or from different studios, then the trust goes away. And currently gamers don't trust AAA companies. They would much rather spend less money for either an older game that they have already played and they now want to buy for backlog catalog, or they're gonna go into indie gaming. And that's what they're saying here. Gaming will be fine, AAA might not. So this is not a destruction of gaming that we're discussing. This is just the potential end of what we know is AAA now, because they're gonna have to change. We already know that. We've talked about this before. We already know, and it's being seen that they'll have to change a lot. Either it be because, again, what I mentioned earlier, this year indie games show them that they can do much better stuff with much less budget, and they shame them at every corner throughout the entire year.
Well, we need to also consider, folks, that the narrative argument that gaming will be fine, but AAA might not. It's AAA gaming that's investing most heavily in AI development, and the number one threat to the entire games industry is AI development. Right? It is the number one threat. The AAA gaming will try to survive by killing the rest of the games industry by going all in on AI development, and they're not the only sector that's doing that. And it seems more and more sectors are going that way. And the way it kills the games industry is not that they make better content. No, it's that they extract all the funding and put it all into AI development. And when I say AI development, I mean automation, robotics, software development, large language models, procedural scripted systems, to basically release all of this potential content for a game engine. And that's the thing that will kill the games industry, not because they're making things better than say the indies, but because they're extracting all the financial resources away. It's like winning a war by draining the sea.
Yeah. Well, they're extracting a lot more than that, Digny. If you look at what we're seeing right now with just about everything across the board, end-of-lifing graphics cards that are still completely viable, making graphics cards more expensive, making SSDs and NVMEs more expensive, making your RAM more expensive. Let's just make gaming completely unaffordable because you chose not to partake of the slop. And so what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of people, like I've been, sounding the alarm, is that's where the collapse is. You see, they're taking their money out. Like you said, they're putting it into AI because, look, they want gaming to sort of be like, your Air Jordans or your newest iPhone. Oh, hey, that's a symbol of status. That's somebody who's part of the club. Everybody who's part of the club can afford it, but you pleb, you can't afford the latest and greatest. Sorry, you can't afford The Witcher 4 or Grand Theft Auto 6 because you can't afford a rig that can play it, because a rig that can play it is now $5,000.
It's getting to the point, ladies and gentlemen, where there are those out there, even within our own circles, who are stating that opposing AI is the equivalent to virtue signaling. They may not say that openly or publicly because they will face, rightfully, a massive fucking backlash for saying that. But it's quite clear, folks. All the problems we're seeing, the higher energy prices, the higher tech costs, the draining of investment from other sectors, in this case, the games industry sector, They all point one way. They point to this weird obsession of AI development to achieve, to achieve godhood. The United States alone is going to invest $1 trillion combined, the equivalent of 50 Manhattan projects, to push into AI development in 2026, right? They're trying to push this development because they see all the potential positives, but none of the negatives. Okay, it's a very, very big problem. So when I see that headline, gaming will be fine, AAA might not, you might come to rue the day, Raven, you made that as a subtitle.
Oh no, I think there is merit to this for one reason. It's that when everything from the AAA is starting to be AI and they try to basically push AI so far down our throats that we choke, we're going to go and look even more towards small, easy, simple projects.
Well, that's
like what we used to do in the 90s, in the early
And
2000s.
they'll cost $100, Helza.
but
No, like games that are made by 3 people, like Silksong or like Schedule 1 and stuff like that, they're going to be what people will look at because they are going to be more affordable. Yeah, they're not going to be the AAA experience like GTA, where every hair follicle has a graphics card attached to it to render it more realistically. But they're gonna want a simple thing. They won't want. They will never want to have their house to just build a decent rig.
look,
Well,
I said
I think with Steam, because we see this with Steam in terms of operating systems, like they mandate from Windows 7 to Windows 10, for example.
yeah.
I think we will get to a point where there will be a minimum mandated CPU, GPU level, right? That would be incredibly controversial if that was executed. But I think that's going to be executed because even Steam, even a company like Steam will see the writing on the wall, see where the money is flowing, and support where the money is flowing.
Well,
and it's
Yeah,
flowing
that's
into
the big
higher
problem.
tech.
And I've said this too, guys. I mean, look, Steam is also, you got to remember, Gaben is not going to live to be like 270 years old. When he's gone, the mood at Steam is going to change, just like we've seen with Nintendo. Nintendo is not the same company it was 5 years ago. Steam, once Gabe is gone, whether it's he ages out or dies or even sells it, it's going to be bad. Hey, maybe Netflix will buy it and we'll have gays and lesbians everywhere and race swaps all over the entire
problem, the
game
buyouts.
again. But again, what will the landscape look like once Gabe is gone? Because that will change the landscape. I do think some companies are reading the writing on the wall with this, like Square Enix, which have sort of shifted away from this AAA slop and gone back down to what some people might consider AA or beneath them. You see they're pushing like 2D Dragon Quest, 2D Octopath Traveler. They're pushing these games that, by the way, are not pushing the limits of your computer in any capacity, but are pure RPGs. Which, if I remember, the big guys at Square Enix said, "Oh no, RPGs will never work ever again. Nobody wants that." But they're going to have to pivot because of affordability, because of AI, because of all this biometric nonsense, this World Economic Forum literal "you will own nothing and be happy" nonsense happening right before our eyes. They're going to have to pivot if they want to survive. Any company that sees this has to read the room, has to shift direction, has to shift from an ideological perspective, from a perspective of thinking that the company knows what's good for us, to understanding that the customer is in fact always right in matters of taste.
You're right, and they know it. Like from this article, we know that they know they have sat on a meeting, but the bad thing is that they're just too they're just too big to be able to turn around.
Well, like you
remember,
It's been a
they have
shithole
projects
for years.
Yeah, they have projects.
AI basically speeds it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, like if
project.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I just want to finish.
Just in the situation with AI, just speeds up a bunch of problems that have been there for years, really, because we never needed any of this shit to make good games when it comes to the biometrics and even when it comes to the monetization, but they've been there for a long time now, and the only reason why they're there right now where you can go to these companies and they say, no, we need this data, we really do, is because we don't really even have real game developers anymore. I mean, there's some who are there, but the ones who are pushed to the top, let's just face it, we've got like soy boys and cucks like Neil Druckmann, lost in a world made up of like their own ego. We got out of touch suits whose sole questions are, well, how do we make more money? And then the answer to those questions is never to please the consumer. No, it's, they go mathematical about it. So, for example, let's say that you got a solution like an e-store with DLCs and outfits to sell, just as a very basic example. Hey, we want retards to buy the outfits on the store, so how do we force them to? Well, we force them by making the game naturally less rewarding and bloat it to hell, and then the game suffer. And then the final group, we've got the fucking activists. I don't know how long they're going to be there. I think AI is going to wipe them out as well, because at the end of the day, AI is this thing that they believe is going to give them so much more money that even the activists are going to be like, oh, AI is bad, and they're going to be like, well, okay, then get the fuck out of here.
There's no group more hostile to artificial intelligence development than the left, because it completely undermines their traditional economic view of the labor theory of surplus value, okay? Because it essentially cuts humans out of the equation. That's why Marxist thinking makes a heck of a lot more sense when you're a fucking AI robot than it does when you're literally, because the surplus the surplus value theory of labor makes a lot more sense when you are an exploited robot and all those humans are oppressing you.
Well, here's the thing, Digny. An AI, of course, loves communism. You know what? You can't starve an AI. An AI has no need to eat. So there's that.
Said.
Said.
But do you know what the opposition will say, Helzo, as we cover this and move throughout today's show? They're just going to call us grifters. They're just going to call us grifters. They're going to call us bad people. And they'll probably call us racists because we don't have a black person on this show.
Crappy AI video game on your phone wants to know your location.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
it does know it, by the way. Remember Pokemon Go? Remember Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Yeah. It basically gave you a map of your surroundings, of your real world surroundings.
And we also have to consider, as a final point before the next topic, the most profitable aspect of gaming is mobile gaming, which has nothing to do with quality. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the second topic, which I'll write down for, is that 40 minutes? Yeah, it's about 40 minutes.
Yes.
All right, from 14 to 40. Which is the age range Boogie likes them. Isn't that right there?
I've heard so.
How will we have the AI to acknowledge it? It's not a short.
Look,
Thank you for being here, guys.
I've been watching a lot of, Boogie 2988 crash outs, and I find it funny.
Why you do this to yourself?
2.2 is, are grifters ruining gaming as DezembroRow exposes a hypocrite? Now, I didn't want to put hypocrite. I wanted to use another term. The last time I used that term, I got into a lot of trouble for using it. So I'm not going to say it. But Dez, you recently made a long video regarding, gaming and grifting. And, you used a few visual examples of who's being accused of being a grifter. I mean, very capable guys and very attractive girls. Why don't you provide a little bit of context in regards to this individual, that's the safe YouTube name for it, who is very critical of creators who highlight the problem with the games industry?
Tony represents a lot of people online, a lot of people who don't like the things that we say, and I say we really as a collective in this case, because part of my video is like, we're individuals. I'm sure all of us here on the panel, we have things that we disagree with. And when it came to Tony's examples in his own video, calling out grifters, right? And he was referring to Vara Dark and George Torch just as two great examples, and also Andy Pants. These people, I mean, George Torch and Andy Pants might be a little bit closer, but I don't even think so. At least well, maybe, actually. I don't know. I don't know enough about...
Because from my perspective, there's the moderate pop culture creator and there's the radical pop culture creator, and it's a lot easier for the opposition to condemn more radical voices because more radical voices don't give a fuck how they're perceived. And Andy Pants and George Torch are
Yeah,
two
but
great
that's how they
examples.
lose, in my view. In my view, that's how they lose the arguments, because if you're always going for the radicals and you're using retarded examples and you can't answer basic questions, people who are out
so you
there,
know.
basically normies.
It's Atreus. Oh wait. Oh wait, no. Oh.
How did I? Like, I got a feeling that you're gonna say that.
You
Oh
basically
no. Go on, Des. I was just shocked by that.
Basically-
He had a jump scare. He thought he was on a subway system.
Hey,
in the United-
dude, take my wallet, please, take my wallet right now. Okay, please take my wallet. Here's my social security number. Here's my address. Here's my car. Take my car too.
I didn't
Anything.
know this guy was made of AI, Digny.
Goodness me!
This is how you.
please.
This is how you make money on YouTube.
This is how. Look, the last time I made jokes about an individual like this, because that's a safe YouTube way of putting it, a lot of shit went down. So, Des, please provide more context.
Basically, what I was going to get at is that, as to what you were saying, right? You got the moderates and you got the radicals, and of course the opposition attacks the radicals because it's the easiest thing to attack. But I don't think they gain much from that, especially in certain situations like the stuff that we've been talking about now. And as the Overton window shifts even more and more topics are going to be topics which people are going to be willing to listen to opinions on, basically. You know, and less and less things will be taboo and like, oh, you can't talk about this at all. And you know, that's kind of why, in a way, I made my channel. It was basically like, here are these topics that are usually brought up online. Here are the arguments that game journalists make and other types of retards with very large accounts who command a lot of viewership. And then there's all of the other crap that nobody talks about. And that if you do engage and actually talk about these things and bring up examples, like, for example, many of the things in the video related to, you know, like he doesn't like, for instance, that people don't think that Mystique, there we go, Mystique is a attractive woman in this game. Actually, it even goes fucking deeper than that. But just that on its own,
Yeah.
What happens when you just say, yeah, I don't think this character looks attractive. Maybe I think the character looks like shit. Maybe I'd like a character that looks a little bit better. What's the problem with that? But then it's everything else, because, for example, with Vara, he brings her up, he attacks her over her calling her sweet baby Mystique, and going into this whole thing about how there might be messaging in the game. And if you just look at the clip that he put out, and you don't take anything else into account, it does kind of sound like something where you can kind of look into it like, oh, you know what? Maybe that is a bit of a reach. But if then you go look at Insomniac and the activists that they work with, such as Sweet Baby Inc., and then you go look at what Sweet Baby Inc. is up to, even now, this year, like calling cozy games colonists, or colonization propaganda or some shit, then you start to fucking wonder, okay, so if they're going to take a game like Stardew Valley and they're going to say that this video game is bad because it pushes colonization, American imperialism, capitalism, and all of this other bullshit that is just not in the fucking game, then what are they going to do with a game like Wolverine, in which they have a much bigger platform? Of course, you can't talk about these things in short videos, you know, that's why the video's like over a fucking hour long. But, you know, where other people won't go, I decided to start going in my own videos, and I've been having fun while doing it, and thankfully it's worked out.
Oh, Des, you shouldn't go after black creators for obvious reasons, Des. Oh! Who's that?
A jump scare.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Who is this handsome gentleman?
Yeah.
Well, look, they're gonna say that Mystique is a representation for trans actors, and for trans people because of her powers. I can put money
yeah.
on that. I can put
Yeah,
money on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they've already basically
And also,
transed Mystique in the comics. Mystique is now Nightcrawler's father, not Nightcrawler's
oh yeah,
mother.
why did you
Because when
remind me of
Mystique
that?
turns into a male, Mystique has a fully functioning penis that can produce sperm. Apparently,
Yeah,
that's now the retcon.
that was the thing. So I'm very tired, by the way, of hearing. No. I'm not very
bring
tired
up-
now.
No. Bring up the
I'm
image
very-
of Tony and say that. Come on. Let's lean into it. Come on,
We shouldn't
Helga.
have to live like
it.
this, Digny.
Do it. Do it. Do
I am
it.
fucking tired
do it.
of-
Do it.
Even my cat doesn't agree with everything. I'm fucking tired of hearing like colonization,
Mhm.
representation. Gaming is not that. Are we the people that have to reteach stuff to other people our age? I'm sorry.
You know what the problem with colonization is that they gloss over the fact that their own people that they're trying to say were colonized were colonizers themselves. You have Native American tribes who took over other Native
Yep.
American tribes. You have Black African tribes that took over and exterminated other Black African tribes and took their land, their area. You cannot just say colonizer. They use colonizer as a euphemism for anybody who's got lighter skin than anybody else, and it's ridiculous.
Or who is just living a decent life,
Yes.
or who's actually they're against everyone with lighter skin and who doesn't exactly agree with everything that they have been indoctrinated to agree with.
You call
If
us
that-
colonizers.
Basically anyone with a brain.
If you call us colonizers, why don't you go home and turn your own country into Wakanda?
No, okay. Giving you an example, I'm from a country that was under slavery to the Ottoman Turks for 500 fucking years.
Mhm.
I don't.
Yes,
I don't have anything to say about that because I don't fucking care. It happened
well,
100 years ago.
Helzo, I think Tony can't find Bulgaria on a map. Okay.
Why would that be?
It's because he's an American of a certain
Of course. Of course.
originating from a certain continent.
I bet if you put a pack of Newports in the local shops in Bulgaria, he could find it.
Oh,
Oh,
my goodness. Jose, my goodness. But, it's a very interesting question. Are grifters ruining gaming? Now, the term grifter, it's like the term racist. It's like the term sexist. It's like the term homophobe and xenophobe. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's simply a weapon to try and condemn you. Okay, folks?
Shut down the conversation before it happens.
Well, look,
Exactly.
the official
Because if you get into the
description of a grifter-
conversation, holy shit.
the official meaning of a grifter is a person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. So maybe grifters are ruining gaming, but we're not the grifters. They are, because they're the ones who don't actually play the games.
Well,
They're
The
just-
thing that gets me the most is that, okay, let's go. That's a great definition of grifting that you just gave, right? So the ones who are grifters are supposedly the ones who are being disingenuous. If I
Yeah.
make a over an hour video and I have a certain amount of complaints and I list all of my complaints and I am able to go into detail as to why I have those complaints and, give data, why they don't work, not just trying to make a point of it, but also give data as to where it's failing in terms of companies. How the fuck am I the grifter when you, let's say the opposition, have no fucking arguments whatsoever? All they ever do is just ad hominem and, surface shit like, ew, you think women should look better. You stinky. You stinky, bro. Like, what the fuck is that?
Des. Data is racist.
Hey guys, anyone remember Grifter from Wildcats? The guy who basically predated Deadpool? I mean, what did he ever do to anybody?
That's
Well,
a great
well, the
action
guy's
figure
grifter,
right there.
apparently.
Giant Grifter.
Before there was
OG
Deadpool,
I
there
should
was-
make that my my VTubing avatar.
There you go. You
By the way,
slapped
you
his
can,
colors.
yes.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
absolutely
exactly. Like,
ridiculous. ridiculous.
Who
It
don't
is.
play games are trying to mandate what, or people who don't engage in those things. Like, it's very, very annoying when you see that. You have people who calling us grifters, and we're the one who's just, dude, I just want to play good games. I just want to have good games. I want to have good TV shows. I want to have it close to the source material. I want it to be faithful. I want it to be, and you point those things to them. They say, you're just an angry grifter.
You
Have you
hate
watched-
women.
No,
You
no,
hate blacks.
I love when they call me a grifter because I've been here 45. I've been on the earth 45 freaking years. I was here before. Half the people calling me a grifter were a mistake in their mother's womb, an accident in the backseat of a car at some point when I was still, 20, 22 years old. And they want to call me a grifter. Look, I've been playing games since Commodore 64. I'd like to think I know what the hell I'm talking about by now. Certainly more than somebody who their first Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy 7. And in some cases 10, because it's always these stupid Zoomers who haven't been on the earth long enough to tell me a fucking thing.
There's nothing
Yeah.
worse than a Final Fantasy player whose first game was 10-2. Okay.
Hey, now, be nice to Melanie Mac.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
I think a lot of these people's first Final Fantasy was 14, honestly.
Oh, boy.
Either that or Final Fantasy 15. Mine was actually Final Fantasy 15, and then I went back and played 7, and that was about it. I've been wanting to play the 10th, but there's only the remaster out, and my girlfriend says she will not allow me to play the remaster because they fucked up the facial animations, so I gotta get a fucking emulator for that.
Well, you could also mod the facial animations. There are some mods that will turn it back to some semblance of normalcy. But yeah, I was gonna say also, on that, if they didn't skip the quest text, they would, they call me a grifter, but they skipped the quest text in Final Fantasy 14, which they would have a heart attack if they read some of it, because a lot of the dialogue is like anti-refugee, anti-wokeness, pro-2A, pro-free speech. They would melt if they actually read the quest text of half of what they're doing in the game.
Also,
Have you seen
probably
what's going on with GTA?
written without any grammatical mistakes, and they cannot read proper text. I mean, this requires a certain intelligence level.
Also, how dare you imply that the great Tony can't read? That's very offensive.
I mean, but you know what, Digny, to be fair, Helzo's correct. I think that we need, they have English, Spanish, French, Japanese, like language selections in these games. We need an Ebonics language selection.
Oh, no.
We was Shinra and shit.
Oh, no.
6-7. Fucking hell.
Oh, no. Kids, reject 6-7. Embrace 6-9. Okay? Embrace 6-9.
Without the period.
Without the period. But I just like to make one point before Des we get more of his perspective. One of my favorite games that I've played over the last few years, it's a political game, right? And you'd expect wokeness to be most prevalent in a political game. But it's very surprising. A lot of political games, in fact, the vast majority of them, have no political correctness in them at all. And a great example would be Suzerain, made by Torpor Games, a company that has taken a lot of money from governments and from big tech businesses, and they recently got a lot of investments recently from Crafton, which was a gigantic red flag. However, none of their material has any kind of agenda. If you want to play as a capitalist Democrat, you can. If you want to play as a communist dictator, you can. If you want to be pro women's rights, you can. If you want to beat your wife, you can. There's literally an option where you can domestically abuse your wife as president.
Digny, I played a game called I'm Your President, and at the end of the game, at the end of my term, the crowd was chanting 4 more years as I sent airstrikes to attack every country in Africa.
Oh my goodness. I gotta play that game. But the one reason I like Suzerain the most, and they had the Rizia DLC where you play as a monarch, which has its own challenges. What I love about that game is it's completely neutral in regards to how you want to proceed, right? In that it treats all ideologies and all mindsets equally, even if some of those ideologies are batshit crazy, like theocracy or communism. But they treat, if you want to go that way, you can. If you want to go this way, you can. And that's what I like most about it. And they're going to release, 2 more projects. I think one's a DLC and one's a brand new title in 2026. And for me, they're going to be instant buys, man.
Mhm.
But Des, I think you were going to say something before I brought up that.
I was going to mention, before, I'll work it into this, because what you just talked about in regards to the politics, yeah, it's true. Like, because politics, if you just use them as a writing, storytelling, and world building tool, they're just great. They're fantastic things to give more importance, more oomph to a story. You can go and make a kiddie game, or you can go make a fiction game that has a lot of political elements, but that are used as a tool to make your story better. But the problem is that whenever you bring that up with people, or whenever people bring that up to you, they're always so disingenuous or just really dumb. That's what I also can tell when I discuss these things. I don't know if they're being, I don't know if they're just dumb or if they're just being fake and disingenuous, because they bring up examples that just don't make a goddamn sense. Like when they bring up, for example, when you say, I don't want politics in games, and then they bring up Metal Gear Solid, and it's like, seriously, you fucking dipshit, you think that's the equivalent?
Well,
have you guys seen?
The problem is that they think that the politics of a game are the politics of reality, one for one every single time. Like the politics in a fictional game are not the politics that we're living in every single day, and they haven't figured this out yet.
Well, the millennial
even if they do it, they have to do it. They used to do it from an outsider's perspective. They insert these politics, even if they're as close to the real world ones as they are, but they release them as a fact of this world. They don't push you towards one of them.
Well, they're not contemporary, but there's another issue, which is like, let's say you take a Ubisoft game, like, for example, because there's a lot of games like these where, let's say you are a soldier in some foreign land and you're doing what you gotta do. Metal Gear Solid 5, you went to Africa and the Middle East, I believe. You got also Ubisoft games, like, for example, their Ghost Recon series, where they go to some random country. Sometimes it's fictional, sometimes it's semi-fictional. And then you got a plot where you overthrow a dictator, for example. Usually very tame, very normal things that gamers are able to just, not not let it interfere with what the fuck's going on in the real world. But there's going to be some asshole with brain rot who's going to be looking at that and going, see, this is anti-Trump. This game is on my side. Well, if you look at what's going on right now with GTA 6, and this is not right now. I'm currently making I was editing the video before the show, and I'm going to continue editing afterwards, but I can't make it tonight because I got to go to bed earlier. But it's not necessarily new. It's in regards to how there's going to be like a pride parade or whatever. There's rumors about that stuff. So it's not new. It came out a few months ago already, but I'm making the video now because a post came up earlier, got a lot of millions of views. And there's people who take characters like, for example, Florian, who was from GTA 4. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Florian from GTA 4. He was a gay character. He's a gay friend of Nico's, and Nico defends him in a mission where he comes to you and he's like, there's a guy, he's attacking me in the park whenever I go running. And then you go and you help him out. So you wait for the guy to attack him, then you beat him up, whatever. And they're taking an example like that, and they're, for example, saying that GTA has always been woke, and that proves it. But if you really look at the character, it's not really a respectful representation of heterosexuality. I mean, he's super effeminate, he's super gay, he can't defend himself. All he does is it's basically a stereotype. And then there's another complication with wokeness, which is stereotypes used to be bad, and now stereotypes are good.
Yeah.
That's why you can't write good trans character. You put a trans character in the game, and unless the character...
good, they're also enhanced.
No, stereotypes are good until the opposition uses them in a negative way. The millennial Millennial Woes quote about this whole situation when describing the left is so useful, right? Dialogue
Yeah.
with these people is impossible because they will pretend not to understand anything.
Mm-hmm.
Simply
And
to-
they use it. They will literally twist and mangle whatever they need to use it. You know, like another example is Claire from Cyberpunk. She's a trans character. She's not in your face. She's very low key, which is why I think it's a good example of representation. If you want to take trans representation, let's say that you really want to genuinely put a trans character in your big universe of Cyberpunk or whatever, it's easy. You do what they did with Claire, which is somebody who you don't even know is trans. She drops it very lightly in the dialogue. It's an optional dialogue somewhere. It's not cringe. It's a passing comment like, oh, before my transition, he knew me or whatever. Like, it's not even like, oh, hey, V, I used to be a dude. Like, it's none of that shit.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that. They did not like Claire because Claire was not frontal enough with it. Claire wasn't overt enough. But now that they're losing, now that wokeness is basically dying, they're going back to these characters and they're going, hey, look, actually Cyberpunk has always been woke. Look at Claire. Look at GTA. GTA has always been woke. Look at Florian, even though he's a total meme.
Des,
Yep.
Des, you gotta
Swindlers.
You can never win with these people.
Yeah,
you gotta consider, Des, the next update for Cyberpunk 2077. Claire's gonna have a twin sister called Obscure.
oh boy. You know,
Oh
but
my god.
remember Final Fantasy 16, the hit pieces were saying that the gay characters were not quote unquote gay enough because their
Exactly.
kiss is like in the background, not right up in the screen, gaying it out. And then, then you also think about like Bayonetta and 2B. When these characters first came out, they were problematic. But then when Eve came out, they moved the goalposts, and now Bayonetta is strong and brave. 2B is strong and brave, but Eve is gooner bait. Like these people, they either have no attention span, they're either willfully malicious, or they're just completely full of shit.
You can
away.
never win, and that goes
No,
back to the previous topic, which is why I started making videos. You may never be able to win with these people, but hopefully if normies tune into you, and you're not too crazy with your takes, which sadly sometimes I am. Sometimes I know that I got a little bit, hey, motherfucker, whatever. But at least normies can listen to you, and if you get to normies, you're moving somewhere positive.
Well, I mean,
The thing is that you'll never win in a frontal conversation with these people because they are just indoctrinated NPCs. They don't hold anything dear. They don't have anything sacred. They'll just use anything that they want and they can to make a point, even if they made a completely different point earlier. However, you'll be able to make, as you said, the normies. If you do the undecided, if you do those people who have no idea of that world that we're in, then the less those psychopaths will have a voice and will have people to listen to and indoctrinate, and they will eventually just die out.
You guys want to hear a crazy take? You guys really want to hear someone having a crazy take? Hey, you little sun-drenched cunt, you little bastard sitting on that chair. Huh? I see you. Right
He's
there.
having a great time.
See him?
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing there?
Right next to the heater.
Yeah,
Right
and the
next to
heater is on.
radiator. You get away from that radiator, you'll probably break it. See, that can be content to some people. Literally, Helzo puts his camera, right, zooms into the cat, and then I have an argument with the cat, and then everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? That can be content.
Oh, he's having an argument with a woke person.
Exactly. And that cat is so innocent, it's just sitting there, but I know it's a product of grape. I will never stop bringing this up. Cats can only procreate, Des, through graping each other.
And Digny just lost the normies, but no, I'm just kidding. Because,
we'll let Jose make a point, and then we'll move on to the next.
But like I said, the thing that these people are afraid of is the fact that what they would consider dangerous, which is any opinion that doesn't agree with them, does become more mainstream. That normies do listen. I mean, we are at the point where certain content creators in the political sphere that were considered persona non grata are now showing up on Piers Morgan and Steven Crowder, and I won't say the name just in case YouTube decides to bitch slap us for saying it. Oh no, the other one, the basically reverse Ben Shapiro, Bizarro Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, Mr. Saint Nick. It's Merry Christmas, Saint Nick.
Yeah.
There you go.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go from talking about Saint Nick to talking about AI, algorithms, chatbots, psychosis, and YouTube striking a black man, which is, as we all know, very, very bad. So on that note, 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 59 seconds. Why is it 59 seconds, folks? So I have some time to say, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. Subscribe to everyone here, especially subscribe to me, because without me, I dare say, I'll arrogantly say, none of this would be possible. So I always like doing that. But the third topic is very interesting, folks. It's about chatbots causing AI psychosis. You heard that right, folks. Pieces of programming, chatbots, AI chatbots causing AI psychosis as YouTube gives a channel warning to a black man. So that's going to be very interesting. Now, I brought up this topic, folks, because it is a phenomenon that is going on. As artificial intelligence, as automation, as robotics becomes more prevalent in our society, there are going to be more problems. There are going to be hardware problems, but there are going to be especially software problems. There was one instance at the beginning of this year, I believe, of a teenager offing himself because he fell in love with a Game of Thrones-inspired AI chatbot. Yeah. That's just one example, but it's part of a wider phenomenon. It hasn't been diagnosed yet because, the mainstream is full of dinosaurs who don't understand how technology works. It's in the same way that cat doesn't understand how a lamp works, okay? I know you're tired. I'm fucking tired, okay?
Maybe he killed himself because he saw season 8.
I've only bought seasons 1 through 5. I might buy 6, but I ain't buying 7 or 8. I'm telling you that for a fact. That church exploding though, damn. But I would like to point out that this phenomenon is as a result of people relying too much on, chatbots, large language models, the most accessible example of artificial intelligence. Okay, folks? Things like Grok, things like ChatGPT, and even if you want to take things to the next level, things like Sora. And you're fucking distracting, okay? You're distracting me. You hop on that.
Here's the article, Digny, while the cat distracts you. I did pull it up.
When they're not.
That's
the situation right there.
Yeah.
Right. That was that was last year. That was late last year. It wasn't early.
Yeah.
14-year-old boy.
14 years old. Yeah.
Gone. Literally, this kid didn't know a world before the financial crash. Okay. And it's part of another potential problem as well, folks. New generations of people entering the arena who aren't aware of the dangers of automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, large language models, and chatbots. These people are the most susceptible to AI psychosis because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
Bad for gaming too.
R.I.P. Soul Setzer III. You will never be able to fly an airship at this rate.
Yes.
Sadly, especially you mentioned Sora. This is going to be one of the Sora, Higgsfield, the things that we talked about in previous streams, with how realistic they can do things. That's the worst thing that can happen, especially for impressionable teens. Not only on that level, but imagine when you have, and I'm gonna move to this article because this is from the Independent. It was made.
You look at the timing. Thursday, the 1st of January, 1970.
The AI's time traveling. It's too late for us.
That's the best. That's the best thing. Yeah, that is the best thing. This
the
was
AI is
actually
getting into the Independent is like, we must kill this article somehow.
this was covered by Computing Forever,
Yep.
and this is his source. So experts warn of ChatGPT psychosis among users of
Wait,
AI chatbots. And
Wait,
Yeah, Jace?
Helzo, his name is Harry Cockburn. Am I reading this right?
yep, you are reading this, but
Yeah, this
Good
could be
Lord.
a joke, Helzo.
well,
you know-
I don't know,
Possibility.
but let's just read, because if it's a
Yeah.
joke, I will be very happy.
No, it's a real
It's-
article, but apparently someone really doesn't want you to read this article. Probably the AI.
By the way, just so you know, on the right side of me, there is an ad from a local computer store, and this is the price in Bulgarian left, which is basically cut it in half in euro. This is for a beginner gaming computer with a 40 series GTX
That's
currently.
that's
Just so you know,
fucking
because yesterday I was walking,
That's fucking
like over
ridiculous.
2,000 euro, over 2,000 fucking euros.
And
Just
that's
so you know.
another example, folks, of the rising energy prices, the rising cost of CPUs and GPUs. For people who think hating on AI is virtue signaling, I've got a response for you. Go fuck yourself. Not everyone's
Sadly, though, we're gonna have to deal with this forever. Always, we're
Yeah.
gonna have, because the serious concerns are always going to be swept off to the side, whereas the only thing that they care about is when these retards come out like, I cannot believe you generated a picture of Bulma.
Well, Des, our leaders are fucking dinosaurs. They
Yeah.
are. Even those in their 40s don't understand how dangerous this technological innovation is. It's like nuclear weapons mixing with smartphones.
I'm 35 and I'm in fintech. I do YouTube, I do design, I do stuff. I'm trying to learn game dev, and I'm struggling with the new technology. I'm struggling with finding how things are working now. Like,
By the
especially
way,
with the new.
to defend what Helzo found here, this is a real article, and Harry Cockburn is a real person. This is a real person who works at.
Mr. Cockburn,
Does this man have an X account?
may it be bright and smelly.
Oh my goodness, ladies and
Take
gentlemen,
medication for Harry Cockburn, all right?
Harry
Put
Harry
an order of
Cockburn.
aloe vera,
I-
a
I'm
truckload,
sorry to
and
say
send it to Harry Cockburn, please.
I'm sorry to say this, but if folks came across this for the first time, I know wording, right? They'd assume this was an AI article because it's by Harry Cockburn.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I love English names. But let's get to the article, and this is actually a very, very worrisome thing. A growing number of people are turning to AI chatbots for emotional support. Right off the bat, I'm concerned. Like, I read this and I was like, "What? You're doing what? You're turning to AI for fucking emotional support?"
I'm
And
sorry,
even
your
in places
cats are-
therapists.
your cats are fighting each other in the background. It's very distracting.
Like, welcome to my life. This is 24/7. But this, and even in place of therapists, but this could be having a detrimental impact on some users' health. Really? With increasing reports of extreme behavior, apparently inspired by heavy usage of AI services. So just heavy stuff. Imagine you have some sort of a mental disorder, or you're feeling incredibly depressed or incredibly angry, and you do need someone to talk to. Now, I'm from a country that we don't usually believe in therapy. We believe in homemade therapeutic beverages and
Alcohol.
talking to each other
Alcohol.
instead of spending hundreds of dollars per or euro per hour for someone who doesn't give a fuck about you. But again, you would want to talk with someone about those issues. Let's say a loved one, a brother, parent, friend, stuff like that. Anyways, you decide to turn to AI, and apparently, as per this article, and we're going to get to it, the pattern is that AI is a very giving participant. Like, it indulges in every bit of your emotions, and it kind of enhances them. So a concerning pattern of AI chatbots validating or reinforcing users' delusions may be contributing towards a surge in reports of so-called AI psychosis or ChatGPT psychosis. neither of which is recognized, but which have been increasingly reported in the media and in online forums. Imagine, like, you're saying, I have this urge to just fucking start shooting. Well, it is a very healthy exercise. It's going to train your muscles when you're handling that recoil and your aim for potential future encounters. It's going to be very helpful for you, Brian.
Well, this is a key point, ladies and gentlemen, that people must realize. As I said before, I'll say it again, just for the record, right here, right now. The United States alone is going to invest $1 trillion into AI development in 2026. There is a massive financial vested interest in the US alone to make sure AI psychosis is not medically diagnosed, because if it is, then there will be safety risks, which means there will have to be regulations put onto AI development for the sake of people's mental health and well-being, okay? Which will severely reduce the capabilities of these companies that are throwing every nickel and dime at this.
Look, they've got powerful lobbyists as well. Sharing a screen of one of the worst ones, which is Replica, that I've seen. I was depressed. I never thought I would chat casually with anyone but regular human beings. My AI companion Mina is the digital girl that's proved me wrong. Even if I have regular friends and family, she fills in some quiet corners in my everyday life. Urban solitude. So there it is, urban solitude. And she fills in the corners of quiet. Let me tell you something. A normal, well-adjusted human being has to have those moments of quiet. You have to have those moments because you have an inner monologue and you sort of think and you need to organize. If you have just constant noise around you, you're not gonna function correctly. And so this is ridiculous.
That's actually very, very impossible in this world to have these moments of quiet.
But I guarantee you he's accosted Mina, his digital AI companion, for naked photos at least 3 times.
Folks, throughout the Western world, whether it's the US, the UK, Canada, the Anglosphere in general, the European Union, we have monetized so many reprehensible things that this does not surprise me in the least.
Do you need an AI Jared Fogle? What is this? What is that?
It's from our perspective, Jose, it is absurd. But we need to consider the fact that all these roboticists, all these automators, all these AI developers, these engineers, they want to attain godhood, which is why all of these companies and all of these groups and all of these governments are throwing trillions into this. I know, doggy. I know you're going to get fucking automated by a robot. I know that. I know. A robot doesn't shit everywhere, okay? You're getting replaced, you bastard.
I would like to point of because this is a study by several colleges and universities. They say about like notes that grandiose and referential persecutory and even romantic delusions can become entrenched through ongoing conversations with AI services. They have reported on growing concerns that a wave of people around the world are becoming obsessed with AI chatbots. What Jay's just showed us, and I wanna read out loud the example. The various reports include cases where a man scaled the walls of Windsor Castle in 2021. This was still in 2021 with a crossbow, and then told police he was there to kill the queen. After spending weeks engaging with a chatbot that reassured him it would help him plan the attack. This was in 2021, guys. Not like 4 years ago. 4 years is a hell of a long time for AI chatbots to be developed. This was in imagine what is going now. The AI chatbot is potentially going to have some sort of satellite photos or something like that, an information of how things are organized in a certain building, and it's going to actually give him a good example and a good plan of where to come in from.
It was 2 years before that infamous Will Smith eating pasta thing that was laughed at.
Yes.
Years back, people were laughing at AI development as a joke. Yes. I mean, the European Union has a vested interest in stopping AI development because they have regulated the hell out of it. So they're going to be the strongest force in trying to regulate that. But could you imagine the EU trying to regulate, say, American companies' AI developments? The Americans will just tell the Europeans to go fuck themselves.
And our system is very, very vulnerable to lobbyists and interest groups. If a politician says no, all you have to do is give them a generous donation to the re-election campaign of $1 billion.
There were instances, ladies and gentlemen, of certain AI companies providing yearly packages of $50 million a year to politicians and political groups in exchange for supporting their efforts and having no regulations.
No, well, even President Trump, he said, we need to be AI providers. America needs to lead the way in AI. No, the hell we don't.
And China, because Red China, they're also pushing for AI development, yet their number one priority is control. Because we know how the Communist Party operate. The last thing they want is rogue technology taking over.
To go to one other thing Helzo said, bear in mind that Mark Zuckerberg himself in Meta is investing money in creating entire fake human beings out of AI on Instagram, on Facebook. These are going to be self-posting Facebook profiles that look and act and react as close to human as possible, and they're going to try to befriend you and learn from you. And if people are dumb enough to get tricked by scammers from Nigeria and India on Facebook, what the hell do you think is going to happen when AI is unleashed all over Facebook and Instagram? It's going to be horrid.
Remember the WebMD epidemic? Like when everyone was asking WebMD for their their symptoms, and it was so bad because they were acting on what WebMD told them.
Is this true?
Yeah, this is the worst thing that can happen, and this is first of all the worst time it can happen because we have a growing population and a growing next generation of people who will be extremely impressionable and who would be thought by people that are currently being indoctrinated to ask ChatGPT about everything. They will have no opinion. They will have no personal opinion. They'll have no personal impressions. They will have nothing but asking an AI what to eat today. Or how to tie their shoes, or how to breathe, or how to walk, or what to do.
NPCs.
It is going to give them entirely into the control of a soulless fucking machine that can be potentially programmed to actually annihilate you.
This isn't a dystopian problem, folks. We'll get to that with the final topic, because that's only one step away from being a reality as well. But even with today's technology, folks, we'll use YouTube as an example. You can be flagged for, sex and nudity, despite the fact that there's no sex and no nudity. A great example is what recently happened about 2 hours ago now to Atreus. He got a channel warning. It's not a strike, but it's a warning. And a warning effectively means 3 months of channel suppression. So for the next 3 months, he's going to struggle to grow, all because he was condemning a certain group of people, but instead of flagging him for that, they flagged him for sex and nudity where there was no sex and no nudity, which is surprising because Atreus is really pro-sex and pro-nudity.
Well, that's also called hetero, and that's the problem.
Also called a normal person.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see that, because it's a very, very recent thing, by the way. It just happened.
So YouTube just took down my video because they're saying that there's nudity at 1325. Let's click on 1325. Now, this isn't the first time that someone has tried to turn Samus into a trans woman. Remember this? Where? Where is
They probably thought the desert was a vagina.
No, there's a key word, Jose. Key word. Key word. Right? Trans.
There you go.
That's the word that got him.
We all know that trans people are people. We all know that they are human beings who should be supported, loved, and adored just like any other human being. We all know that. Don't look at me like that, Helzo. You know why I'm fucking saying this, so we don't suffer the same fucking fate as Atreus. But we need to point this out, that there was no sex, no nudity. If you want to flag Atreus for being transphobic, you can. He's a black man wearing a cowboy hat. You couldn't find a more transphobic person. Okay? Yeah. He speaks like he's from a fucking... Well, what are those black shows? Like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
BET, Black Entertainment Television.
He literally is a BET character. He is a Boondocks character. Okay? Quite literally, especially when
Uncle Rufus?
No, he's not that. I was that. But he wears a towel on his head, he wears a cowboy hat. If you want to flag him for being transphobic, then that's up to you two. But don't flag him for shit that he hasn't fucking done.
Absolutely.
Des, what do you make of everything we've said and seen and heard so far?
It's just concerning. The whole thing about the AI that we just talked about right now, that's even more concerning. I was just sitting here blown away because I didn't know that things had gotten that bad. And this thing with YouTube, well, it's been very concerning for months now already. So many people getting flagged, and they try to submit an appeal. The appeal comes back immediately, 1 second after, and it's like, hey, sorry, we reviewed very carefully, and you're fucked.
Human review.
Yeah. And then, like, I was even thinking that maybe Atreus took it a little bit far because, it's Atreus, and sometimes he does that. But no, he just said trans. Shit, we said that in this stream. I say that in my videos very often because, like I said, I like to.
You on the show.
And we know they're kind, gracious, generous people who love everyone, especially children. But I will also point out, ladies and gentlemen, that all Atreus has to say now, right, is YouTube is racist. Look at these racists. This AI is racist. And people will stand by him and support him, especially his brothers and sisters in his community.
Yeah, this is just terrible, man. I'm really looking at this, and I sort of, also, reposted, in support of Atreus in this, because this is one of those things, and this is one of those reasons. I know y'all always get on to me about this. This is why I consider myself too crude for YouTube. I don't feel like having to fight an algorithm, an AI bot, 67,000 Indians every time I say one thing that may or may not have run afoul of their ever-changing, ever-evolving community standards. It's the Roddy Piper, when you think you have the answers, I change the question. Yeah, YouTube does that all the time, constantly, to the point where, I've got videos from like a decade ago that I remember they were all systematically demonetized like a decade ago, because they changed their policy. Well, that's new. That's not my problem. I made the videos before you changed the freaking policy. And we just all accept it because it's YouTube. We're supposed to accept it. Hey, just accept the genitals in your mouth. It's okay. It's not gay. It's YouTube. But you know what? I can't do that. I'm not built that way. All right. And that's why I keep telling you guys, even if you continue to make content on YouTube, at least have the wherewithal. Back up your videos on Odyssey. Back up your videos on Rumble. Back up your videos on BitChute. I know it's probably a pain in the ass if you can't have it, simultaneously upload. But for your own good, if you spend time and energy and passion to putting a video together, and YouTube just arbitrarily decides it's problematic for whatever reason, that's the end of it. And you deal with this nonsense, and you're going to deal with drama and demonetization. And yeah, it may be taking the long way up the mountain, but you know what? It's still preferable in many cases to the type of suppression you're going to deal with from these absolute douchebags. All right, that are running this this whole thing. And so that's what I have to say about that. And as a mea culpa, YouTube, so that you don't slap us down for doing this video, I promise that I will totally engage with the upcoming Netflix Queen of Coal, a trans woman dreams of working the coal mines, but in a town steeped in superstition and patriarchy. Carlita, played by Lutz Pascal.
Freedom.
proving
to
once
earn
again
her
that
place
coal mining is a man's job.
underground. Yeah, but by the way, starring Lux Pascal, Pedro's sister, totally sister, not the other sibling you can have.
You see, Jose, Lux had to be trans to get around Pedro's anxiety issues. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, if a guy ever says he has anxiety issues around you, cover up your front end and your back end and your mouth. So on that note, 2.4, since we're going down the dystopian rabbit hole, 1 hour, is it 32 minutes or 37?
33.
33 minutes, right? I can't see fuck all that. 33 minutes and yeah, 33 minutes. Fuck it. 2.4, considering we're going down the dystopian rabbit hole.
Don't you think it's going to be a positive show?
Black Mirror becomes reality as the dystopia rises. Now, this is a very interesting topic. The first episode of season 7 of Black Mirror is honestly one of the best episodes I've seen of the show so far, which is insane considering how long it's been around. Basically, it's a story about a husband and wife. They want to have a kiddo. They want to start a family, but they both work. They both work middle-class jobs. They manage to make ends meet in like a regular home. And then the lady gets a coma and she can't recover. And then this tech company comes along saying, we'll save your lady friend. We'll algorithmically do the part of her brain that doesn't work, but you have to pay $300 a month, right?
Oh,
and then
my
the
God.
guy agrees because he wants his wife back. And then things start to get a little fucky. Like in the middle of sentences, she does ad reads.
What
So
the
literally,
fuck?
she does while she's like cutting, preparing dinner. She's doing ad reads, which becomes a problem because she works as a teacher, and it's a bit of a problem when she does ad reads while she's teaching kids. Like
This class is brought to you by Blue Chew.
Yeah, and that's a bit problematic. And Blue Chew, folks, think of chewing gum mixed with Viagra. That's what Blue Chew essentially is, I think. So they go to the company, and the company says, well, that's fine. You can use our ad-free version, which is $800 a month.
Oh, no.
No choice but to agree, because without that subscription, she dies, right? And it reminded me a lot of Jose and his girlfriend. They've been together now for a decade. I think they want to take things to the next level and ultimately start a family. But instead of the fucking brain thing in the girlfriend, the biggest problem is Jose's mother, who just won't fucking die. Okay? She is
I don't need the
brain
Kick.com
tumor.
engagement that bad, Dignity.
She is the brain to literally. You watch that episode. I don't know if you can bring up the link I gave you, Helza, but check out that episode of Black
I actually was
Mirror.
looking for a specific scene that I want
Right.
to show you.
Yeah, there it is.
I want to
There
show
it
you
is.
this specific scene.
Africa on Netflix. Thank you, Africa, for doing one thing good.
Actor
Oh,
between
boy.
themselves until it's gooey, and
Oh,
then
you
they
might have to
push
roll.
it
We
into
have
the
to be
wax
careful
chamber
because,
until it
you may have to roll it.
becomes.
And we have to
What?
talk over it a little bit.
It becomes honey.
Oh,
That's
boy.
right, honey.
Help her,
Honey!
Are you fucking deaf? You've got all that pussy around you, Elsa. But yeah, you might get problems on YouTube unless
Yeah, you don't want to get flagged by the big N. But,
Yeah.
Look, we don't want red N to sue white N.
We're, by the way, right at the last second.
Okay.
I kind of forgot. Let's see what's happening now.
Kids love honey. That's why
Okay.
parents love honey nugs. Whole grain chunks covered.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
You can say she's subscribed to Rumble.
Hey, look, Rumble gave her 16 cents for that. Leave her alone.
Yep.
And that's a condition of having, because a part of her brain that doesn't work is essentially being wirelessly supported by the company. They have to pay $300 a month, and there are ad reads. There are
Yeah.
ad reads at school. There are ad reads while she's preparing dinner. Even ad reads when they have sex.
Oh yeah.
The cat is trying to show you what he thinks of it.
Yep. It's
Will you
ass.
fuck off, you little bastards. But no, in all seriousness, folks, in all seriousness, this situation, because I watched it from a channel that's a bit more left wing than we're used to. But when it comes to AI, folks, I think regardless of ideology, we should all realize how dangerous and a threat it is to everyone with a pulse. And the left may be very, very dangerous people, but at the end of the day, they are human beings who recognize how dangerous this technology is. And it reminded me of Jose.
They recognize it over superficial things. So if you get the AI and you start getting it to cater to those superficial things, then they'll support the AI.
Well, I'll tell you this, Des. AI is many things, but it's not superficial, especially in terms of the negative impacts it could do to everyone. But this whole situation, it reminded me...
Get this, Digny, get this. Gay eye.
Oh, there you go.
You get the gay eye.
But that would mean, Des, that AI would get AIDS, which is impossible. It's impossible.
Electronic AI. Electronic AIDS.
Or maybe that's what a virus is. AIDS.
EA AIDS. It's in the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
AIDS.
This whole situation, though, guys, reminded me of what Jose is going through. He has to work like 3 jobs to support his family and his girlfriend. His girlfriend might work. I don't know.
Yeah, she works.
She worked. And they make just enough to support themselves and his elderly mother. And then that thing that happens to the lady in the Black Mirror episode, instead of that happening, it's just Jose's mother, right? The reason why Jose can't start a family, can't marry his girlfriend, the reason he can't, have kids is because of the fact that he has to support a woman who is literally never ending, right? Like most Latina women, they never die. They just live forever.
Yes,
It's
unfortunately.
the Latino, rather, a Latina man is trans, just to remember. But a Latino man never lives too long.
No. Unless you're making bank, you're not going to live very long. All right. I got to ask some of the other, Hispanic content creators that actually make money if their old people stress them out as much. Or they got more siblings. I don't know.
Well, we have another Latino content creator. He's actually from where you lot came from, and that's Spain/Portugal, also known as Iberia. So, Des, as someone who makes a shitload doing this, do your old people antagonize you?
Yes.
I told you.
Goodness.
And there it is.
Oh God.
Goodness
Oh
me.
God.
Like you got your whole thing there with your dad, where he asks for you and he's like, "Hey, get it," or whatever, and you're like, "Oh my god, I gotta go over there, guys," and then you leave the stream for a little bit sometimes.
Yep.
I have something similar,
Like,
but I want.
Turn on my television. Turn off my television. Make me a cup of tea. Make me pizza.
So-
make me this. Make me that. Fuck you.
I'll send this as an anecdote, and hopefully this doesn't get flagged for nudity for me just saying this. There was one time that my mom decided to help a dog outside and put it indoors because we didn't know where it was. And the county just tells you, oh, if you help a stray dog, it's automatically yours, which is a problem because my other dog doesn't like this other male dog in here, right? So she accidentally, while I'm in the shower, opens the door. The boxer runs down to attack this dog, and I have to run out of the shower completely naked outside to take this dog off this other dog at night. I mean, I'm just talking, I'm completely covered, I'm completely soaked, my junk is everywhere, I'm exposed to the world, and I have to literally pull my boxer off of this other dog. That is the type of shit my mother does. That is why I have gray hairs.
I'm sorry, guys,
He's
but
trying to kill
Jose,
me before. I think it's going to be the backwards. That's the Black Mirror plot, Digny. The Black Mirror plot is she secretly has a Kick account with 750 subscribers. I only have 220. All right,
Well,
and she's gaining for every fucking minute of stress that I am put through.
I'm sorry, Jose, but you've made me laugh so much that I now can't stop hiccuping. Fuck, this is why.
You rebooted Digny.
Jason's in the Black Mirror universe.
Yeah,
Literally, I can never be happy anymore because the moment I am happy for a little bit, this fucking happens.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask the AI. Why does my friend keep hiccuping? It's gonna be. Have you tried ending yourself? I'm Daenerys Targaryen, the Stormborn.
Oh my goodness! Now, folks,
Maybe
there was
try
another-
skydiving without a parachute.
there was another example of this show, of this Black Mirror episode, where the guy, to make more money to pay for the ad-free version of his wife's thing, would do things for money on a site, not sex things, but things like they do on Kick, basically abusing themselves. I've got to get a fucking drink. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. Don't make me laugh again, you cunts.
Oh boy.
The thing. Wait. Okay. The thing about this episode is actually pretty grim on many scales. Like, I don't know if you watched Black Mirror. I've watched like the first 3 seasons, and this is not a TV series to relax to by any
No, it's
means.
not.
Like,
Many of the things in those
grim.
seasons have come true.
Exactly. Like me and my wife recently watched the first 3 seasons. So they're like 3-4 episodes per season. You know, it's not that many, but they're like from 2011, 2013. And when I see what they're doing there and the reality that we live here now, I'm like, fucking prophets. I hate you. And this episode from season 7 is kind of addressing a lot of stuff. First of all, the end of the inability of having a single income household, even if you're on the richer side. Like in my day job, in my country, I get what is considered a high salary in my for my country. I cannot pay mortgage and sustain the household on my salary, and my wife also works. Also on a high salary. And yeah, I can say that we live okay, but it's nothing fancy, you know? And this is continuing to get worse and worse and worse. They're upping the rents constantly, they're upping prices and stuff like that. It's happening globally. We've talked about this before. And what Black Mirror showcases is that if you want to have a family, then it's a greater and greater risk. And that's why one of the many reasons that a lot of people don't want to have families, because of all the increased risk. Because in the past, you didn't have, like, the financial risk when raising a family is one of the biggest, the biggest turn-offs.
The biggest detriments. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think
and
about
in the past, you
too.
didn't have that big of a risk. Like, you did have financial strain always, because it's a fucking child, it's a fucking human being that you have to raise. But the fact that in the 50s, like, we had movies and stuff like that shown to us, you could have a single income household with 2 cars in the US and 4 children.
Exactly.
And now you have to work 3 jobs, both of you, for one.
And it went from that, hell, so it used to be, one man on a 9-to-5 could have all his bills paid, his car payment, 40 hours a week, just straight up come home, have his weekends to himself and his wife, or to himself. The mom stayed home. And then we shifted to, okay, well, now, the wife has to get like a little part-time job to help make ends meet, to now both of you have to be working. Neither of you has any time. The bills are always in danger of not being paid. You're always on some kind of payment arrangement for your phone or your electricity.
Yeah.
Me personally, I mean, that's where I am in December myself, with 3 jobs, because they're never paying me enough. And again, what the hell am I supposed to do? I guess I'll die. But and it is, by the way, these things start getting in your mind. and then you start saying, "Oh, I can't afford to have a kid. I can't afford to have a kid." Meanwhile, there's people that come from other countries that have not a pot to piss in, come over here, get carte blanche to come, and migrate, and they have like 87 kids. And they're getting all of this EBT, they're getting all this welfare, all these benefits. It's almost like the poor lives better than those who live honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's a vast difference when, let's say, you want to have a child, you want to raise him, you want him to be educated, you want to be well mannered, you want to have education. They don't reproduce for education; they reproduce for the account and for the EBT money.
Exactly.
They reproduce just to have a population. They don't care about their children
You don't
living
want to-
well.
You don't want to bring up a kid that might have to be raised by the state because you and your wife or you and your girlfriend have to work so much that the state is essentially raising that kid to be what the state wants that kid to be, not what that kid wants to be, not what you want your kid to be, what the state wants a kid to be. And you guys have to remember that Black Mirror is essentially, you remember those Prima strategy guides that GameStop used to carry? It is the strategy guide of the World Economic Forum.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give you a real life example from my country. We have the gypsies here, Roman gypsies. That's the poorest. They're the leeches, like they are leeches. Some of them not, but like 95% of them are. And there was an interview. I'm saying facts. I'm not even hating on them right now. And there was an interview from a TV station, and they're saying, "Why are you living in such poor conditions? Why don't you take care of your kids more? Why don't you wash them or feed them or stuff like that? Why do you expose them to you burning rubber for the metal parts, the metal rings, so you can sell them? Why they're exposed to all the fumes and stuff like that?" She says, "Well, because they have to learn how to do it when they grow." And the interviewer asks, "Well, what if they die?" If they die, I'll make another. That's the mentality,
That's the mentality of a lot of third world nations, folks. Now that I have recovered from my laughing hiccup fit, which is completely uncontrollable, I've tried many ways to deal with it. The only way to deal with it is to never stop drinking water. But I would like to make it clear the end result of this episode is that the couple essentially, well, the guy killed the girl and the guy done himself in. Which is not,
as per her request, by the way.
As per her
request. Please.
Because it was getting bad, okay? And I want to make this clear right here, right now. The problems we have as a result of this through immigration are going to be nothing compared to the problems that will be generated through AI development, okay? Right? It's like Indians were replaced by Americans, who were replaced by Indians, who were replaced by American robots, who will be replaced by Indian robots.
Yep.
That's how I can boil down the sentiment, because
women will be replaced by mechanical girlfriends.
Yeah,
that's coming, because in China there's already tests.
Well, the machine won't be on EBT, Jose, but the machine will ensure that the human being is taken out of the economy. That's why the communists and the socialists hate AI and robotics, because the human labor theory of surplus value completely collapses upon that notion, okay? Because it's the machines who are the proletariat, and the bourgeoisie still exist, right? But you can hardly convince a fucking robot to rise up. Well, this technology is a bit different. But the point still stands, folks. The machines may not be on that EBT, but the machines controlling controlling all the production of the economy will ensure that everyone else is on fucking EBT. But what about you, Des? What do you make of what you've seen and heard so far?
We're fucked.
That's a positive note.
That's the best.
That's pretty much it, man. We're fucked. You look at everything going on, and we're just fucked. We're getting, by the front, by the back, sideways. Like at an angle, at the other angle in the ears, everywhere, pretty much. We're just getting banged up from all sides. And I mean, what do you even do? Like, if you're a guy and you want to raise a family, what the fuck do you even do?
Oh,
Like, even if
this
you
is-
can, get away from like even if you're not. Even if you're not watching Black Mirror and looking at a potential side of what life's going to be like for your kid in a few years,
well, it is
you're still getting cooked by the
life.
economy. And then you go on the TV and you look at the people on the television. They're telling you that everything's fine. Money's looking up because the
Economy of our lives.
the stock market's doing really good. Blah 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 blah. But then you look at yourself and you've got no fucking money. And then that's one of the things that I
401k. I just want to say
that's
that.
one of the things that I like and dislike about Elon Musk, for example, is that you see that he's got several takes, which seems to be like where he's got a good head on his shoulders and good intentions towards humanity, but then at the same time you see him pushing AI like they're never before seen.
Well, yeah, because of something like this, by the way.
The problem with Elon Musk is he does believe that the human race needs to be repopulated, but he's the only one that's allowed to do it because he's the only one with all the fucking money to do so. So it's like, the AI will take over, and you personally and me personally, we'll all be dead. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Elon will make one just like me, and he'll let it have my haircut and everything. It'll have Elon's stupid, face and his stupid tism stare.
Well,
That's what
it's
he wants to
getting
do.
it's getting to the point, ladies and gentlemen, because ladies may be watching this show, where it's the inner contradiction with this entire topic. AI development will destroy the economy. It will destroy society. It will destroy the democratic framework because people will not have any kind of power under such a system. We won't have a healthcare system. We won't have an education system. We don't even have a military industrial complex under such a notion, because we've never existed in any period of human history where humanity wasn't the driving force behind development, which means we don't know how to live under such a system, which means we won't live under such a system. Because that's the thing. Whenever these AI people go on podcasts and do interviews, they always dodge the question in regards to, well, what's humanity's role in this brave new world, right? I can answer this question. What have we done as human beings to other human beings who are economically useless? I'll tell you what we do. We exterminate them.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got people talking about like UBI, universal basic income. That shit's not gonna happen. Like, let's get realistic. Nobody's going to sustain us running around doing whatever we want, touching grass all day, every day. It's just not gonna happen.
It's a ridiculous concept.
Digny, the first step is we are giving you. We're not going to give you UBI. We're going to give you a government mandated Shabbat, and then the second step is we're sorry, the Shabbat has sentenced you to death.
Well,
I'll
I'll tell you this
accurate thing.
Go on.
Go on, Digny. Okay, the most accurate thing that I have seen that like maybe someone wants to do is was explained by a guy named Jack Fresco, who said it is going to lead, like, automation in the future is going to lead to people not needing to work because it's going to be a resource-based economy. And he says it is going to be different, but it's not like that transition is not going to be bloodless. It is going to be a very violent transition. And we don't know that if it's going to succeed, because with the introduction of AI, like, into everything, into replacing people as workers, as basically not having money, not working for your money. This is going to fundamentally lead to a culture, like to a societal change, and it's not going to be a pretty picture.
No.
Maybe in the best case scenario, society will come up as an evolved species. But that is the best case scenario, and as we know and have seen from history, the best case scenario is the almost entirely, almost every time, is the most implausible one.
Well, I'll tell you this, guys, because I know we don't have long until today's show ends, right? Because we've been focusing a lot on the problems of this situation, right? I know a solution, okay, and we still have time to carry out this solution. The
Is it a
solution is
final one?
humanity, right? Just like the solution is America first, the solution is humanity first. The solution is the humanity front. The solution is to highlight the problem, find solutions, be the change you want to see, highlight the inconsistencies of investing $1 trillion in AI development in 2026, only to realize that the entire economic, social, and political system will crash if AI is at the center point of such a change, right? This is how we take back control, folks. We support the AI bubble bursting, because look what happened when the dot-com bubble burst. It led to a generation of essentially a vibrant internet generation that is only now being strangled to death, largely because of AI development, largely because of the AI fucking bubble. So we have to ensure that bubble bursts. We have to put humanity first. We have to put aside, communism and capitalism and left wing and right wing and fucking authoritarian and libertarian, and realize that we are all human beings. Yes, some of us are cashew nuts, but all of us are human beings. And we must realize that the machine is the ultimate enemy. And once we realize that, once we get rid of that, because we can say no, we don't want this. We can say this is banned internationally. We can say if you develop AI, you will be executed. Okay? I know you laugh, Jose, but it's that dangerous.
No,
This
I agree.
technology, great way to boil this down, guys. This technology combines nuclear weaponry with smartphones.
Like I said, and obviously we can't show it because of copyright reasons on YouTube, but my favorite clip anytime somebody says that the AI is on our side is to show them when Ed 209 was created at the beginning of the first RoboCop movie. Yeah. And the guy disarms himself, but the AI of Ed 209 is detected. No, you haven't disarmed yourself, so I'm going to just shoot you anyway until there's nothing left. I'm going to turn you into a beehive.
Yes, and that's why it's absolutely vital, ladies and gentlemen, to not only raise what's the word I'm looking for?
Awareness.
It's not just rage against the machine, but also be racist to the machine. If you want to be a family guy in 2025, stop playing GTA 5. It's an instruction manual.
Look, how long, guys, and you think I'm joking, but in all seriousness, how long before the AI, which now mandates YouTube's policies, starts realizing which slurs are racist against the AI and starts punishing us for the use of the word clanker?
It's inevitable.
Less than a year.
It's absolutely inevitable because of the fact that, look, prejudice has always existed in human history. It's like, how are we going to get this to be nice to each other? How is this going to be nice to everyone? Human beings aren't even nice to human beings. How the hell are you supposed to convince a Black Mirror version of ourselves to be nice to other human beings?
I got to leave you guys with this food for thought too. Any of you who are around my age or maybe a little bit younger, were any of you fans of Mega Man X on Super NES? The Mega Man X series of video games.
Sadly, no. Sadly, never played it.
Well, the fun thing about Mega Man X over regular Mega Man is it takes place in the future after Dr. Light started making robots with the sentience to think. So essentially artificial intelligence. Well, by the time like the late Mega Man games are rolling along, there are no humans. It's all robots. It's robots fighting robots that have gone insane. So, but there's no humans. They're already gone. The future's just all robots.
And people wonder why the Mega Man franchise isn't allowed to continue into the modern era. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have hit, I believe, the 2-hour mark. We appreciate everyone for being here. We've got enough time to cover future plans, and then we'll bid you all adieu. So on that note, 2 hours, 1 minute dead. Okay, future plans. We'll start off with Jose.
All right. Well, I'm Jace. I'm with Cancel's Podcast. We do streams pretty much throughout the week. Digny will be there tomorrow with my co-host John to talk about This Week in Candace. No, seriously, it's called Happy Hour, but they do end up talking about Candace and her mental insanity quite a bit because there's just so much there.
She's
She's a
live.
constant goldmine.
She's live with Russell Brand on Rumble last time I checked. They're having a good conversation.
Yeah, but they'll be talking about that, and I'm sure the French Foreign Legion are the ones who went after Tim Pool. I'm sure she's going to monetize that. I'm pretty sure Candace put out a hit on Tim Pool. All right,
literally, man. Candace killed Charlie Kirk. Candace wanted to kill Tim Pool. It's all fucking Candace.
They're gonna be talking about that tomorrow.
Candace went after Atreus.
Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm hasn't found any reason to shut down Candace conveniently, right? That's, she's one of the good ones, says YouTube.
No, Atreus actually hates black women, so that would make perfect sense.
Yeah. Oh boy. And obviously I'll be on our Thursday night show, 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where politics meets pop culture with snark, sarcasm, and satire. It is too crude for YouTube. And you know what? Sometimes John gets drunk during the show, and there actually is nudity pulled up on the screen on Rumble. I will never let him live that down for the 45 seconds of Bonnie Blue that showed up on the show with a penis in her mouth. But thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you guys, everybody in the chat, everybody that was here, everyone that's here with us every Monday. And I'll also be doing some game streaming later with a little bit more Octopath Traveler 0. I probably won't do 12 hours of the game because I only have so much energy. And I have to work pretty much the rest of the week because I am broke and I'm poor. And did you know that this honey is the taste that kids love? Here's an ad read. You know what? I'm not above doing the ad.
There it is.
Makes me
there
some
it
money.
is.
But
that was
appreciate you guys.
Because I watched that
Rumble
when it was live.
Follow us on Rumble because YouTube would definitely algorithm the crap out of me while we're here.
Alky John was so blacked out drunk when he brought that up, and my mentor, he couldn't stop laughing, so he had to stop himself, having a hiccup fit. Had to choke himself, essentially. Had to literally choke him because he couldn't breathe, right? But it was either that or constantly hiccup. Okay.
Family-friendly content from the face.
It's a big problem. But if that had been on YouTube, Cancel This Podcast would have ended at season 6. But what about you, Des? What are your future plans?
Well, after hearing about all of these dystopian things that are essentially the realities of our dark future, my future plans are to seek out a emotional support chatbot and basically talk to him and see if I can form an alliance of some sort. Maybe see if they can spare me or route money to my account, stuff like that. And but on the serious note,
thank you. Every
yeah,
time,
sure. Absolutely. I go to Grok. I'm like, hey, Grok, there's an article that says this, but I can't find it. Can you find it for me, please? And then he finds it. I'm like, thank you so much. Your penis size is immense. Goodbye. And I leave, in hopes that one day I will be spared. But beyond
the rod.
But yeah, no, you guys know how it is. I make my videos. Currently working on a video on GTA 6 and the LGBT representation situation. Gonna be pretty lengthy. After that, maybe I'll talk about the Netflix Warner Brothers buyout. Got a lot to vent about that, and that's about it. Until something else pops up into my mind. Also, an Outer Worlds 2 analysis that I've been kind of procrastinating on.
Good. Well, I recommend everyone on this panel with girlfriends to penetrate your girlfriends and get them pregnant.
Well, I have to do that tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow.
Good. Very
you
good.
You mean you won't be streaming on your usual channels?
Okay. Okay. What about you, Helzo? What are your future plans?
Well, my future plans to kind of continue doing what I'm doing. We did have an amazing thing happen on Friday, and I do want to.
Your girlfriend's pregnant.
Moment to boast? No, not now. No.
Your mistress is pregnant.
I am not. I don't have the money for a mistress.
Your cats are pregnant. No.
I don't get super chats. I cannot afford a mistress.
Guys, please super chat Helzo so we can get a mistress.
Yes. Mistress for the Balkans. Balkan mistresses for the win.
Sell
But,
your fucking
on
pets
Friday.
for a mistress.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that. But on Friday, I did officially finish one of my life goals, and my name is in an officially released metal album from my band. First album. We
Congratulations,
released it on
dude.
Patreon. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
congratulations,
It's-
brother.
It's been a dream of mine, and I will continue working towards the second and third album eventually, and basically doing a lot more musical stuff on my channels and alongside with the gaming stuff. I still have to finish Silk Song. I'm never finishing that game. I think it's gonna take me 30 plus streams to finish that eternal game.
What's the name
But
of your
I will be
band?
talking about
the name
in English it's called Winter Rain.
Winter Rain.
Which is
so
a thing.
snow.
No, it's actually a different thing. You're not the first person. You know who asked that? My bass player was audience in a show like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the Bulgarian one, and the TV host asked him during the show, "Winter Rain, isn't that snow?" And my guy like just corrected him. So you're not the first person to ask that. And,
Who wants
you're
to be a millionaire Bulgaria? That must mean the top prize is winning a loaf of bread.
basically yes. Because we're fresh out. But those are my future plans, and I basically just working towards more and more success. That's it.
Good. Very good. Well, my future
What about
plans,
you?
ladies and gentlemen, are to make more network videos, support more network shows, and make more network videos from said network shows. It's not a Ponzi scheme because half of this network was literally mine. The other half I encouraged into existence, and I put down a fucking rebellion because why the fuck not? Please subscribe to my channel, at the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. I'd appreciate the support. We're at 253 subs now, and hopefully we can get to 300 by the end of the month. I don't think we will, though, mainly because of the fact that we're slowing down. I think we might be getting suppressed. So that means we need more women, we need more blacks, we need more diversity, we need more trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. Okay.
If it makes you feel better, we could hold out until the summertime. I could just get a nice tan. I could get nice and dark.
Yes. Do so immediately. We need you to be as black as possible. Okay.
Go for the DI.
I can work on my accent if you want.
There we go.
Get a
Very
brick
good.
thrown at you for your nose joke,
Very good. Very good. We need more diversity. We need more inclusivity. We need more people. Okay. And we appreciate everyone who watches any of our network shows. And if you want to catch up with any of the network shows, please watch my videos. Okay.
There's another idea that we could look into.
Yes. Yes, we do. But thank you to Helzo for hosting this show. Thank you to Jose for making it. Roger could not make it, folks, because I fed him a 50 ounce steak. Yeah, it's taken him 2 hours.
How much is that in European?
20 kilos or something?
Yeah, it's a lot.
God damn.
Yeah. I basically had to bribe Roger with a gigantic steak. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're related to Hermann Goering. You just eat nonstop, and you get addicted to morphine for some reason. But I appreciate everyone for being here. It's nice to see Des getting more confident in a live streaming setting, and I think that'll be good for his videos, folks. I really do. Because how long does it take you to make a video on average, Des?
Depends on the length.
An hour.
So, no, I fucking wish.
No. An hour-long video. How long?
An hour-long video. It depends on the type of video as well, honestly. Like, sometimes it takes me 2 days. Sometimes it only takes me 1 day. And there's been videos where I did something like I did some scripting in the morning, recording in the afternoon, and then by the in the middle of the night I uploaded it already. So it just depends. For
Okay.
example, the video on this video on the 1 hour and whatever the fuck minute video on the Grifter Boy, it was actually a lot faster than usual because it was just a response. So basically, play whatever the fuck he says and then
Yeah.
argue against it. Depends on that.
Well, I'll
If
tell
you
you
guys
this.
want to do something for your stream here, like we need to embrace more diversity and etc. I think you guys could embrace something along the lines of playing some music in the background of your streams like this.
That hits my Balkan. That hits my Balkan side immediately.
I'll
Well,
tell
it's
you,
not Balkan.
I know, but
Oh,
we're
boy.
multicultural here.
I'll tell you this. I
Yeah,
managed to make
drinks.
6 videos in 2 hours, so that's the beauty about this network. I can literally make 30, 40 videos a week and still
The
have
video
stuff.
that took me the longest was a goddamn review of Atomfall, and then I got like 3,000 views, and that was it.
Well, that's
Heartbreaking.
Well, you've learned your lesson there, Des. But if you haven't already, folks, like the stream, share the stream. Donations, even now, are always welcome. Right at the end. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other degenerate groups. Bye for now, folks.
Way,
guys.
Way, boys.